Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we're doing a why buy on Udyr, the Bearman Pig. Oh wait, whoops. He's actually the Spirit Walker, but I really prefer Bearman Pig, so I'm going to continually refer to him as that throughout the video because he is a Bearman Pig. But Udyr, he is quite the champ. He's seen quite the resurgence with the onset of his ultimate skin, or is it? No, I don't think it's legendary. I think it's ultimate, but the I don't even know what it's called. But Spirit Guard Udyr, is that what it is? But so yeah, Udyr, he's quite the champ. I saw you would see him like in every single game for like the month leading up to the release and like the month after the release of Spirit Guard Udyr. But now I think you don't see him quite so often, which is probably, I guess, probably more telling of his popularity and status. But anyways, I'm playing Udyr in the jungle this game. He is a very strong jungler. I would say it's probably his home role, and I'm going for the Phoenix Udyr build. Which I will talk a little bit more about later, as opposed to the Tiger Udyr build. Both have their own strengths and weaknesses and are quite viable in their own right. But anyways, yeah, let's start talking about Udyr. He is highly mobile, utilizes a unique stance mechanic, I believe similar to Sona, where it means that there is a when you activate an ability or a stance, there is a activation effect, and then there's also a persistent effect. You can see I'm going in for a gank here. Gonna get the stun off on one, the stun off on two, but unfortunately I don't think we're gonna be able to get too much out of this. Oh, he's getting quite low. There's first blood. Able to chain our abilities together. There's another stun, and oh, am I gonna make it out of this? It looks like, oh, they do pick up Lucian, and am I gonna make it away going for the stun? One more stun. Oh, the Q picks up the kill. So, but there we do get a nice double kill for my AD carry. So we go, I believe, 2 for 1, and I will trade my life for 2 of theirs any time of day or night, or perhaps early afternoon, even dusk. But overall, a very strong trade there for our team. So a good start. But anyways, Udyr, let's start talking about him, his abilities, and kind of get a feel for what makes him so good and what makes him viable. Let's start talking about his passive, Monkey's Agility. Upon entering a stance, Udyr gains 10% attack speed and 5 movement speed. So these are 2 core stats to Udyr's kit, would be attack speed and movement speed. A lot of his abilities are attack speed based, and because he doesn't really have a true gap closer, ooh, a bit of a misplay right there by myself, but because he doesn't really have much of a gap closer, he's very reliant on movement speed. Ooh, a nice job by Teemo. He flashed for it, Q, and Ignite, but we're not going to chase this guy down, unfortunately. So the idea here is that if you chain your abilities together, you can stack it up to 3 times and get up to 30% attack speed and 15 movement speed. So a very nice passive that synergizes well with his kit. You do want to be kind of cycling through the different stances at different points, just because they all kind of offer different strengths and weaknesses, and if you chain them together, it's just a very effective way to get the most out of his kit. And next up would be his Q. This would be Tiger Stance. When you activate Tiger Stance, you gain increased attack speed, but then the persistent effect is that your basic attacks deal bonus damage, and then his first attack will actually deal bonus damage as well over 2 seconds. So your Tiger Stance, it scales really well with attack damage and attack speed. It's kind of your best single target choice, so you can choose to kind of max Tiger Stance first. Then you're going to have very, very high dueling capabilities, especially early on. His damage is very, very high, and you have a very strong AD scaling because you get a lot of attack speed and a lot of attack damage. So very, very nice job. I think... Nope, I'm just kidding. I was, for a second there, I was confused. I thought that I had gotten it wrong, but I was correct. The activation gives you attack speed, but then the persistent effect is that basic attacks deal bonus damage, which is very, very handy. So overall, Tiger Stance is definitely better for more of your single target damage. God, those Lucian bugs are driving me crazy. But definitely higher single target damage. The clear speed in the jungle is slightly lower than your Phoenix Stance, but it's still quite high. And this would be more of your AD. You could go for more of like a fighter build with Tiger Stance, getting something like a Plate of the Rune King, and then maybe like, I don't know, Frozen Mallet or some, Randuins, and kind of go into like an off-tank role. Trinity Force would also work very well with that. Phage would be very, very good, especially with the tweaks that they made to those items. But yeah, overall, this definitely has very high single target damage, and if you choose to go Tiger Stance, you want to be aggressive early. If you're playing in the top lane, Tiger Stance allows you to be a very strong duelist early on. If you're in the jungle, you really want to look to be aggressively counter jungling early on, because Udyr is so fearful once he gets his kind of 3 core abilities. If you get Tiger Stance and then your 2 others, he's just extremely strong in Tiger Stance as an early duelist. So very good stuff there from Tiger. I do really enjoy Tiger Stance. I actually kind of prefer it a little bit to Phoenix, just because that single target damage is so good and allows you to be very aggressive early on. But again, both have their strengths and weaknesses. So next up will be his W, Turtle Stance. The passive effect gives you lifesteal, which is very, very handy, from 10% all the way up to 18% lifesteal. I also take 4% lifesteal in my Quints, which will give me up to 22% lifesteal, which is very, very high. And this is what gives him incredible sustain through the jungle. Then the active effect gives Udyr a shield, which scales with ability power. So this is more of your defensive stance. The lifesteal is very nice for keeping you alive either in lane or in jungle. If you have a difficult matchup in lane, putting a lot of maybe 2 or 3 points early into Turtle Stance can almost completely negate any of the damage that they'd be able to do, because you can use your shield to kind of keep yourself safe from the initial burst, and then you can use your lifesteal to kind of lifesteal it all back up. See, just chasing after this guy. Ooh, a nice job by Lucian. A very, very well-timed ult right there. I'm going to go back into my bear stance, get a nice stun, flash another stun, and there's the kill with my Phoenix stance proc. Very, very nice. Ooh, and Lucian's going in deep. Very, very good job. Thanks, killer. Well played right there. But that was a nice little spree right there. Good job by my team. But anyways, Turtle Stance is much more of your defensive stance. And I do like to cycle this through in the jungle. The shield helps keep you safe. So then your shield is taking that damage, not your HP. And then the lifesteal, again, can really help you kind of get that life back and keep yourself highly sustained. I think through my first clear, I only used 1 pot. So a lot of them actually kind of went to waste. So you could... I know that a lot of times Udyr's, it's very viable to start Doran's Blade, especially if you're going to go Tiger Stance, just because you get such sustain with your W. Next up will be your E, Bear Stance. This is one of the more quintessential stances for Udyr, but this is kind of your ganking or aggressive stance. So the passive effect is that your auto attacks will stun the target, and it also kind of has a weird, like, short-ranged dash. You can see I'm in Tiger Stance right here trying to chase down this Kassadin, but he's going to go back into turret. There's probably no way I could catch him, and he knew that. But anyways, your auto attacks will actually... you see I'm trying to steal this blue buff. Your auto attacks will stun the target. You can only stun the same target once every 6 seconds, which is the exact cooldown. Ooh, I actually get picked off there, unfortunately. Let's see if I can make it out of this alive. Probably not. So that blue steel ended up costing me my life. So a little bit of too aggressive there, but that'll happen. But anyways, so the passive effect is that your auto attack stun... again, like I said, you cannot stun the same target more than once within 6 seconds, which synchronizes nicely with the cooldown. So if you go to another ability and then come back to Bear Stance, you can probably stun them again just based on that cooldown, because it is 6 seconds. So overall, this is your ganking stance. Oh, and then the active effect, when you activate it, you gain a movement speed and you ignore unit collisions. So the movement speed is really, really handy. This is what allows you to just run around and be extremely obnoxious and disruptive and be all over the place. Like I said, Udyr has no gap closer, no true gap closer. So Bear Stance is kind of your pseudo gap closer. It's your movement speed buff that you're going to use to get into range. It makes him a very strong chaser. It also makes Udyr a very strong split pusher. If you're going to go Tiger Udyr in the top lane, it would make you a very, very strong split pusher, because you can just run away from just about anything that comes your way. You can stun them and then run away, and stun them and run away, rinse and repeat. So that's Bear Stance. I generally like to max this one third. So I take my main ability, either Tiger or Phoenix, max it first, then putting points into my Turtle Stance next, and then last would be the Bear Stance. And then last would be the Phoenix Stance, which is the one that I'm utilizing mostly this game. The passive effect, it would be on the first attack after activation, and on every third subsequent auto attack, Udyr engulfs himself in flames, dealing magic damage in a cone in front of him. So you can see whenever I'm kind of doing that like flamethrower type motion as I solo this dragon and then flash over the wall for a nice dragon steal. It's kind of your best clearing ability. And it definitely is a reason why Udyr scales very well with attack speed, is that you can get this proc off more frequently. So you can see kind of like that flamethrower right out in front of me. That's the proc there from the persistent effect. Then the stance activation, Udyr unleashes pulsing waves around himself in a circle, dealing magic damage each second for 5 seconds. So you can see every time I activate it and the Phoenix kind of cries out, then you can see these pulsing waves around me. I wish I would have known they were doing that blue buff right there. But you can see if you watch the flames that are kind of engulfing from underneath me, that would be the effect there from Phoenix Dance. Phoenix Dance is better for AoE, and it's also better for clearing the jungle, would be the main benefit of Phoenix Dance. Coming in for this nice little engagement here. Don't know if I'm going to catch this guy. Oh, I did get stunned there from that, at least. Great stun there from her. So Phoenix Dance has better AoE damage, and it scales with ability power as opposed to attack damage, so it makes you more of an AP tank rather than an AD tank. And it has better AoE, and it has faster jungle clear. Phoenix Udyr has probably one of the fastest jungle clears in the entire game. I don't know exactly, he's probably right up there with Master Yi, but Phoenix Udyr clears the jungle insanely quickly was kind of the main reason why I chose to go with that build, just to kind of mess around and see how it worked out. But it's really, really handy for its insanely fast jungle clear. When I'm clearing the jungle with Phoenix Udyr, you're rotating between R and W, so you're kind of mixing in the shield and the lifesteal from your W, and then the R, you're getting the AoE clear, and there is a little bit of overlap between the two skills. So if you hit R, then I believe it's like a 2-second period before you can activate another one of your abilities. Yes, there's a global cooldown of 2 seconds. So if you hit your R, then you get 5 seconds of those pulsing waves, and every third auto attack gives you those the kind of flamethrower right in front of you. But then if you switch to Turtle Stance, you'll get the shield and the lifesteal, but you'll still have those 5 seconds of pulsing waves around you. So you can kind of overlap your abilities in that really nice way. So you can see I'm doing this red buff. Even though I'm in Turtle Stance right now, there's still, for another second, I continued to have the pulsing from my Phoenix Stance going out. So those are his stances. And the basic idea is that you want to pick one, either Tiger or Phoenix, to kind of be your main damage source. One is AP, one is AD, one is more AoE, versus the other is more single target. It's just kind of personal preference, really. I would say that when I'm in lane, I really like to go for the Tiger Stance. I think it's better for dueling, and it's better for last hitting. But Phoenix Stance really excels in the jungle for the fast clearing. Not really sure exactly which one is better in terms of just raw damage output, but it's kind of up to you. Both, like I said, are quite viable. And then you want to use your bear stance for your ganking and for the crowd control. See, Udyr and I are just having a little bit of an Udyr on Udyr stun fest. But you can use bear stance for kind of the movement speed and the crowd control, and then you're using turtle stance for as more of your defensive and your lifesteal. A nice repel there by at least over the wall to escape. But yeah, so I would say that, like I said, you want to definitely pick one. Max that one first. In this game, I'm doing Phoenix. Then max your turtle, and then lastly your bear. You could put a couple more points into bear stance early if you're going to be ganking a ton, just to give you extra movement speed and extra movement speed duration. But it definitely is up to you. And really, Udyr, I would say that his whole style and his whole vibe is about disruption. Udyr excels as a tank or off-tank, kind of a fighter, just because he is such a disruptive force. You can see I'm just kind of running around right in the middle of their enemy team, soaking up damage. They're using my bear stance to get the stun, switching into turtle stance for the shield to keep myself safe, and then switching back to Phoenix stance if I want to do some damage. There's a stun on the Lucian, scaring him away. I think I actually even popped his barrier. But using Phoenix stance, I'm going to use my shield to try to protect my Lucian. I see they're going in again, so I'm going to use bear stance to try to get some CC off. But, I actually go in at the wrong moment, and I get blown up. But trying to be as disruptive as I possibly can. And if you look at my score so far, I have quite a bit. I've been farming the jungle very heavily, and that's led me to 116 CS, which is pretty much up there with some of our solo laners in the game. But then I have 5 assists, which is really, I think, the big telling story, is that I've tried to be active in a lot of lanes, try to be very disruptive. Udyr, he's a very strong duelist early on, but I would say as the game skills on, he really transitions into more of a tank role. And he really wants to be disruptive. With his movement speed from bear stance and then the shield from turtle stance, he can just be very obnoxious, very, very hard to kill, very hard to actually track down. Doesn't have any clear initiation powers like some other tanks, but you can see right here I'm in my bear stance, and all my objective is right now is to try to stun as many targets as I can and then soak up as much damage as I can with turtle. There's a nice stun onto Kassadin. I'm actually thinking I'm going to flash for it. There we go, and help pick up the kill. Going to use my... I actually picked the wrong target, but I'm going to use back into my bear stance. I actually picked up the kill on Lucian. How did that happen? There's a nice double kill. I actually really want to know, how did I pick up that kill on Lucian? Where are you, Lucian? How did he die? Oh, I see. That was the wrong Udyr. Just kidding, you guys. Oh, that was funny. So the other enemy team has an Udyr too, and he killed our Lucian. There we go. That explains it. But, yeah, like I said, you want to be disruptive. In team fights at this stage of the game, I think your best bet is to be in bear stance quite often, and then try to spend as much time as you can stunning as many different targets. You can only stun them once every 6 seconds, so what I like to do is just go from target to target to target, stun 1, stun 1, 2, stun 3, on down the line, everyone I possibly can. Prioritizing a little bit more of peeling for my carries rather than diving their carries tends to be what I prefer. There's another Dragon Steel. And then we're just going to run out of this. I think we're going to be fine. Although, actually, Galio kind of does get caught out here, and he's a little low on mana. There, I'm going to try to stun these guys and get my Iceborne Gauntlets proc off. Galio, get out of here. Yep, I think Galio's going to be fine. Now I'm going to use my bear stance again. There's a stun onto... There we go. You can see I'm just running around stunning the different targets. Now I'm in Phoenix stance, trying to do a little bit more damage. There goes turtle stance. So just cycling through the stances, trying to decide which one would be appropriate at the right time. Like I said, bear stance for the crowd control, and the catching potential. Turtle stance for the shield to soak up damage, and then Phoenix stance to actually deal damage back in return. It makes Udyr very dynamic, very, very dynamic. You want to always try to be finding the correct stance for the situation. But in general, like I said, your main goal is to be disruptive. So playing Udyr kind of reminds me a little bit of playing Singed in terms of you want to try to be like that thorn in the enemy team's side. He really doesn't necessarily have the highest damage output. He doesn't have, he's not really that much of a threat usually. But what Udyr is obnoxious. He gets low on health. So right now I'm at like a quarter of my HP. But I'm really not that afraid. I've got 4 points into my bear stance, 5 points into turtle stance. I've got an Iceborne Gauntlets. I've got Boots of Swiftness. There's no way that they're going to be able to catch me. So anyways, a good time to start talking about builds. Because I'm going for Phoenix stance, I'm prioritizing AP over AD. Core, I would say to almost any jungle Udyr build would be Spirit of the Ancient Golem. It's just flat out the best defensive choice for junglers. The health is nice, the CDR is nice. Pretty much every stat you can use is amazing. Plus you get that tenacity passive, which is really handy because you're going to probably buy this item for tankiness anyways, and the tenacity is just an added bonus, so making it extremely cost effective. And then it also really opens you up to buy whatever kind of boots you want. You're not locked into Merc Treads. You can see I go for the Swiftness boots because I really want to have that extra move speed. I really want to be active across the map, catching as many targets out as I can. Just be very, very high with the move speed there, getting a nice stun and Iceborne Gauntlet proc off. I mean, there's just no way people are going to catch me. After that, I really, really like to go for this Iceborne Gauntlet. It is probably the best choice. Ooh, a nice job by Lucian. I'm going to try to soak up as much damage as I can here. There's a stun onto their Lucian, trying to keep him around as best as I can. Ooh, stunning that Udyr under turret, helping Lucian out there a little bit. But Iceborne Gauntlet is very, very core to the Phoenix Udyr build. It gives him mana, which he really needs if you're going to be spamming through your abilities. That can be really handy. Good job by Lucian to pick up that kill, by the way. But the passive is really nice because you're going to be spamming your abilities a lot. They're all on a 6-second cooldown, so you can really cycle through them and get that 200% proc off quite frequently. The armor is nice. The CDR is very nice. And the AP does not go to waste. It works actually on your turtle stance to increase your shield, as well as in your Phoenix stance to increase your damage. So everything on the Iceborne Gauntlets is nice, and then on top of that you get this slow, the AoE slow as well. So where does it actually talk about the slow? Oh, I see. It's at the second half. Interesting how that, because I think the Spellblade passive is on the Sheen and the Triforce, but maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, Iceborne Gauntlets is really nice. After that, I would say it's a little more situational. They had a lot of AP damage. They had another Phoenix Udyr, Elise, Kassadin, Thresh, all of them doing magic damage, so I went for a little bit more of an Negatron Cloak here. Probably going to go into this item right here, Spirit Visage. That's another very, very core item, especially since it got reworked. The health is extremely useful. The magic resist is awesome against this type of team. Again, more cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction is so good on Udyr. It allows you to get more procs off of your abilities. It allows you to, just again, trying to be really disruptive, get more procs off on your Spellblade from your Iceborne Gauntlets. Just very, very useful overall to give you a ton of different options. So again, a very nice, and it gives you the passive works really nicely with your turtle stance to give you increased healing in lifesteal. So everything really, again, is very, very good on Udyr. And then after that, it really just kind of is up to you. Other really good items, anything that grants bonus movement speed is really good. So like a Zephyr is a really good item on Udyr. The attack speed is nice. Even if you're in Phoenix stance, the attack speed actually will proc the Phoenix flamethrower thing even more quickly because you have more attack speed to get more of your third attacks off. The movement speed is nice. Again, more tenacity there if you're not getting Spirit of the Ancient Golem. But Zephyr is really, really good. Triforce and especially the Phage component, with the new Phage getting that bonus movement speed, is a really nice buff to Udyr, just because it allows you to really excel with that movement speed. Getting in close is so crucial on Udyr, and whatever you can do to buff your movement speed, I would say, is very, very critical to success with him. But yeah, then after that, you're just pretty much going for tankiness. Udyr doesn't really need a lot of items to be effective, which is one of the things that makes him a very, very strong jungler. Because you don't need items to be strong, you can be strong whether or not you get farm. And so, again, I'm just jumping right in the middle of their enemy team as Lucian bugs out like crazy, trying to stun as many different targets as I possibly can. There, I'm getting off 2 stuns, one onto Lucian, one onto Kassadin. There's another stun right there. Just every person I see, I'm trying to stun. Again, that's my main goal in teamfights, is to be as disruptive as I can, getting off as many stuns as I can. So right here, again, stunning everybody who's going for my teammates, trying to get the stun off. I think I can't even count how many times I've gotten stuns this game. Soaking up tower shots, going to use my turtle stance. There's the turtle stance to try to save me at 100 health. And again, just racking up the assists, trying to be as disruptive as I can. I'm really not carrying the team in terms of kills. Thankfully, Lucian is doing quite well. But Udyr is not about damage. Udyr is about disruption. It's about being an annoyance. It's being very hard to kill. It's being very, very fast. It's about the stuns. Again, just really trying to maximize this role, and it's being the tank that my team needs me to be, as I'm sharing some XP with this wonderful Janna. But you can see I finished my Spirit Visage sitting on a... I think I'm probably going to turn this into a Warmogs, just because even though Elise has a Leandries, I didn't really feel... And I guess Lucian has a Blade of the Ruin King, so maybe that wasn't the best choice, but I felt like I needed more of, protection against magic damage. I'm going to go ahead and solo this dragon one more time. I think that's the 3rd time I've pretty much soloed a dragon, although I guess Lucian was there to help. But and you can see a really nice flash over the wall, and then the stun with the bear stance to pick up the kill onto the Elise right there. Very, very nice job. A nice ward helped us pick up that kill. But yeah, again, this game is pretty well out of hand at this point. Lucian is quite fed. Teemo's doing pretty well for himself as well. Even though their enemy Udyr got pretty well farmed, nobody else in their enemy team was able to really do very much. So here we go, another team fight, just throwing into my bear stance. There we go, stunning on Lucian to get him out of his culling. Getting another stun into Phoenix stance this time, try to get some damage off. There's another stun with the bear. And another stun even on this other Udyr, just trying to get as much disruption and damage off as I possibly can. But yeah, Udyr is a lot of fun for that very reason. He is just such a dynamic champion to play. Unfortunately, I do end up going down, but for the sake of my team to pick up one more kill as we close out this game. But that's Udyr for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Try both Phoenix and Tiger Stance out. If you're going to go Tiger Stance, maybe a Blade of the Ruin King into a straight tank build would be really nice. The Phage, the Frozen Mallet even could be an effective choice to, once you get onto a target, to really stick to them. Pretty much anything that's AD and off-tanky works really nicely on him. But yeah, as we close out this game, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Udyr is a lot of fun to play. You just run around like a crazy man, and you do whatever you can. That was nice and rhyming. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Udyr is pretty fun to play. And go ahead and pick him up. Even if you don't have the Spirit Guard Udyr skin, he's still pretty fun, when you're running around as the Bearman Pig. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you again soon. Bye.